Hey, welcome back to the channel. You got one of these? A lot of people do. Maybe not exactly like this one, but a lot of people have them. This is a Portuguese-made licensed G3. This one is actually a post-sample select fire gun. But a lot of people have HK91s, PTR 91s, and the Century equivalent. I believe they call it the Century G3. Good gun. Let's make this gun better, more fun. This is how we're going to do it. This little green case is a case of HK Magic. Open it up and show you the magic. This is a factory HK 22 conversion for the G3, as it came from the factory. I'm hoping you can see that. The kit, this is just a standard G3 kit. You can get anywhere for 10 bucks. 2 converted magazines that have 22 inserts to hold 20 rounds. The conversion unit itself, and something that you wouldn't even think of unless you're German, I guess, is a barrel insert. This slides down a 30 caliber barrel and gives you 22. It's manufactured in such a way that the top, you can't insert it wrong. Later in the video, when you see me put it in the gun, you won't believe how easy it goes in the gun. Now, here's the rest of the magic. Move this out of the way so I don't knock it over. This is the bolt carrier. And if you have one of these guns, you know that when you fire it with the normal .308 ammo, this whole unit moves back and forth. Obviously, a 22 long rifle isn't going to have enough energy to move 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of metal back and forth like this. So what did the Germans do? I'm hoping you can see this. In here is a bolt that moves inside the carrier. So when you fire the 22, this is the only part that moves, and it comes back enough to kick the hammer back and recock the gun. As you can see, we've been shooting, it's dirty. What's nice about this? This is a drop-in. You just take your bolt out, and the 22 sleeve goes in the barrel, then this goes in, and you put the gun back together, and you're shooting 22s in about 3-4 minutes. So, real quick here, I'm going to show you how to do that. Here's my G3. This one has the blue training round in it. This is the G3 that sees most of the use here. I have several others, but to be truthful, we shoot the crap out of this one. So, take your stock pins out. Take your stock off. Take your other bolt out. This goes in first. As I said, because it's flat on one side, you really can't put this in wrong. Push it in, you reach up underneath, push it a little further forward. It's in. That's how simple that barrel is. There's a little spring tensioner on the outside of the chamber insert that holds it in place. Oh, take your 22 kit. It goes in like a regular carrier. Put your stock pins back in. You're now shooting 22s. And what's interesting about the way the Germans set it up is when you cock the gun manually, the whole carrier goes back, just like a standard G3 carrier. You insert your dedicated 22 magazines, and then you do your HK slap, and the gun's ready to shoot 22. It doesn't have a last round bolt hold open like all HKs, but if you can see it, it's going to be hard to see. Right where my finger is is where the 22 bolt is. This becomes your ejection port, and that's your bolt that will go back and forth. And what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in and show you some close-ups of a few things, and then we're going to take it out to the range and shoot it for you. And what's another nice thing, if you happen to have a select fire or a sear, this kit will run full auto, and we'll show you that on the range. We're moving on. All right, we moved in after we stopped the camera, and the reason I had my son move the camera in is so you can see that these assemblies say HK and the day they were, the month they were made, and the year, and they actually have their own assigned serial number. Hopefully you can see that. Now we're going to move over to the magazines, and the reason I'm going to show you the magazines is I actually have, even though I have 2 kits and 1 extra magazine, I have 3 different kinds of magazines, and I'll give you the benefits of each, or the distractions of each. Alright, this is the first magazine. This came in 1 kit. As you can see, it says HK on 1170. In other words, these were older than the date code. And these all came in the German military wooden boxes. The second one, I'll move it over. There is no marking. They did not engrave anything. So, although this may be a German military contract, it's not an HK magazine. Okay? The third one, which is the spare one that I got, has the most interesting markings. Are they focused? You will see here a date code, which is for HK. You will see it stamped 22, and you'll also see it's engraved 5.56 millimeter by a smaller number. It's not by 45, it's like 22. Basically, the metric conversion for 22 long rifle. Okay, now we're going to zoom out just a little bit. The first 2 magazines I showed you worked flawlessly. This one has problems until you get down to about 10 rounds, and then it seems to work fine. I believe this one, because it's a much newer magazine, the spring needs to be broken in. It's just pushing up too hard on the round and not letting it chamber. So, but how to tell the later ones from the newer ones, we're going to show you right now. The original kits, the insert was made out of metal, and it's weighted to feel like a loaded 308 magazine. The later ones, the insert is made out of plastic, and it is not weighted. So when you buy the kit, hopefully you'll get this magazine instead of this magazine. Unfortunately, magazines for these have gotten rather expensive. There were several companies making aftermarket magazines. I've tried a couple, but they were so early in development they didn't work. So I'm hoping that maybe if they're still being made, they work now. But overall, this gun is a blast to shoot in 22. And we'll take it out to the range and show it to you, and you can decide if it's worth buying. Thanks for coming to the channel. Hey, we're going to do the shooting part of the 22 conversion. I've already got the 22 conversion in the gun. Showed you how to do that in the earlier part of the video. So, with any HK, you lock it open. Then you insert the magazine. Same with this one. Put these up. Although it's a 22, it's not that loud. My hearing's pretty much destroyed. It's in there, it's on semi. Let's see how she runs. Oh, got a failure to eject. Empty. No last round bolt hold open. The ammo I'm using is the Winchester Red Box. It's 36 grain. I've had better luck with 22 conversion kits with 40 grain like mini mags. However, I don't have any of them right now, so this is what I have. Let's try it on full. There's 20. If you got a G3, which most of us don't have, but you have a PTR 91 or an HK 91, this is definitely a cool way to go to enjoy your gun without spending a ton of money.